friends, we are going to discuss the activities during the week 19th January to 25th January. Undoubtedly, the important aspect of this week is the visit of Mr. and Mrs. Obama, the President of United States of America and the First Lady. The other important aspect is the unveiling of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao by the Honorable Prime Minister. Then quantitative easing by European Central Bank. Then the victory of Syriza party in Greece. These are the important events of the week, and let us now look at one by one. The first and the most important thing is the visit of the President of United States of America to India. I would like to tell you three things with regard to the President of United States visit to India. First and the foremost thing is he is the first United States of America President to be the chief guest at Republic Day celebrations. Second important aspect is Mr. Barack Obama is the first President to visit India twice. No President of USA in the history visited India twice. This is the second record. The third record which I would like to tell you is both Mr. Obama and Mr. Modi addressed the nation by Mann Ki Baat program. Mann Ki Baat radio address, both jointly addressed the nation. So these three first you should not forget. And before going into the activities of the week, I would like to tell you few things. 2 Guinness Book of Records this week. The first and the foremost is under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, 11.5 crore accounts were opened within a short span of 4.5 months. 11.5 crore accounts were opened within a short span of 4.5 months. This is the record ever achievement in the world. So it is into the Guinness Book of Records. And the second important aspect which has gone into the Guinness Book of Records is the largest cash transfer scheme. The largest cash transfer scheme for PAHAL, which is nothing but LPG subsidy. LPG subsidy, now the largest cash transfer scheme in the world. So these 2 Guinness Book of Records, please don't forget. And at the same time, let us go into the first aspect of the week, that is the visit of the President of United States of America, Mr. Obama and the First Lady. Before going into that, let us have snapshot on United States of America. United States of America, the technological prowess and which is dominating the world scene in the present day unipolar world, and the 4th largest country by area. The first one is Russia, and the 3rd largest country by population, and the country declared its independence on July 4, 1776. 13 British colonies declared independence on 4th July 1776. The population of United States of America is roughly 31 to 32 crores. Indian population is roughly around 125 to 130 crores. So now the United States of America's population is almost 1/4 of India's population. And if you look at the area of the country, it is almost 3 times the area of India. So, lot of natural resources and educational system, one of the best in the world, technological might. Because of this, it is dominating the world, and it got its independence on July 4, 1776. The currency is United States dollar, and their economy is around $16 trillion. Remember, our economy is roughly $2 trillion and their economy is $16 trillion. Remember, the first President of United States of America is George Washington. President at the time of India's independence. We got independence on 15th August 1947. So at the time of independence, the President of United States of America was Harry Truman, right? Next, the President's visit to India. Let us look at the Presidents who visited India. I would like to tell you before 2000, that means during the first 53 years of independent India, only 3 presidents of USA visited India. The first one was Dwight Eisenhower, who visited India during 1959 when Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister of the country. Subsequently, Mr. Richard Nixon visited in the year 1969 when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of the country. Then Jimmy Carter visited India when Mr. Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister of the country. So, only these 3 times Presidents of United States of America visited India up to 2000. Look at the situation after 2000. In the year 2000, Mr. Bill Clinton visited when Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of the country, and I can say that it started turning around towards India. So, India-US relations started somewhat after 2000 when Mr. Bill Clinton visited when Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. Subsequently, Mr. George Bush and Mr. Barack Obama visited India during Mr. Manmohan Singh's tenure. And now Mr. Barack Obama for the second time visited India when Mr. Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister. So, this is the 7th visit of any US President after independence. And remember, before 2000, only 3 presidents visited India, and after 2000, 4 visits took place during the short span of 15 years, which shows the growing importance of our country. Because nowadays, no country can ignore India because of its population of 120-130 crores. Not only that, the future of India, especially because of the demographic dividend, almost 50% of the population is below the age of 26 years. That shows that India cannot be ignored by any country at this juncture, right? So, look at the next one before going into the visit. Air Force One. This is the plane used by the United States of America President. It costs around 1600 crore rupees. When this Air Force cannot reach a place, American President uses a helicopter. The name of it is Marine One, and the car used by the President, Cadillac One or the Beast. Cost of this car, the Beast, is roughly 10 crore rupees. Remember the names: Air Force One, Marine One, Cadillac One. So remember these names. Let us look into the visit of the President of America on 25th of January, Sunday. He set foot on the Palam airport, and setting aside the protocol, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, was himself present at the airport. Normally, Union Minister or some dignitary receives the President at the airport, but keeping the protocol aside, the Prime Minister of India himself present at the airport to receive the Obamas. Right? The second one is, during the visit, the Prime Minister of the country presented a telegram as a memory, I would like to say, a telegram sent by United States to the Indian Constituent Assembly in 1946, right? As a memory of the relations, in 1946, United States of America sent a telegram to Indian Constituent Assembly when our Constitution was in the stage of preparation in the year 1946. The third one, for the first time, Wing Commander Pooja Thakur, an Indian Air Force officer, Wing Commander Pooja Thakur, Air Force official, became the first woman to lead the Tri-Service Guard of Honor at Rashtrapati Bhavan, which shows the woman power of the country. Remember, Wing Commander Pooja Thakur, Indian Air Force official, right? During the visit, if I would like to tell you in a lighter vein the other things which, though they may not be that important, but I would like to tell you small things which occurred in a lighter vein during the visit of the President of the USA. The first one is President Pranab Mukherjee's wife gifted Pashmina shawl with intricate embroidery. You are looking in the picture. Pashmina shawl. Pashmina is the variety of Pashmina goats. These are the goats reared in the high altitudes of Himalayan region. So, President of India, Pranab Mukherjee's wife, presented or gifted pashmina shawl with intricate embroidery to Mrs. Michelle Obama. At the same time, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee presented a specially designed tea set, right? The other thing which I would like to tell you, the dress of Mrs. Obama was designed by the Indian-born designer Mr. Bibhu Mahapatra. Mr. Bibhu Mahapatra, you are looking in the picture. He designed the dress of Mrs. Michelle Obama. The other thing, cream colored Kadua silk saree, basically it is Banarasi silk, which weighs 400 grams and which costs 1.5 lakh, was presented to Mrs. Michelle Obama. This is Kadua silk saree of Banarasi silk, hand woven Banaras silk. So these are the things presented to the Obamas. This you should take it in the lighter vein, and let us move on to the serious business. What exactly happened on 25th January when Mr. Obama visited India? Prior to the visit of Mr. Obama, I would like to tell you, India and US signed a strategic agreement for cooperation in information and communication technology and electronics for 5 years. Before the visit of the Honorable President, India and US signed a strategic agreement for cooperation in the field of information and communication technology and electronics for 5 years. And whatever you are seeing in this, the first one is Defense Strategic Framework Pact was signed for 10 years, that is 2015 to 2025, for cooperation in the transfer of technology and development of defense equipment. Remember, this is the first agreement signed during the visit on 25th January. Defense Strategic Pact was signed for a period of 10 years from 2015 to 2025. Right? The second one is this commercial operation of Indo-US Civil Nuclear Deal was done, and a joint strategic vision statement was given with regard to the Asia Pacific region and the Indian Ocean regions. That means to have maritime security, to have stability in the region, a strategic agreement was signed for Asia Pacific region as well as Indian Ocean region, where with regard to this agreement, China is a little cautious. Right? The other one is both the President and the Prime Minister decided to connect through hotline. Hotline means at any point of time, both of them can be reached. Right? The next one is with regard to the strategic decision to meet or to have regular summits. So during this first day of talks, I would like to tell you, in a nutshell, Defense Strategic Agreement was signed for a period of 10 years. Second one is commercial operation of India-US Civil Nuclear Deal was given a go-ahead. Third one is joint strategic vision statement for Asia Pacific region as well as Indian Ocean region was signed. And the fourth one is both the countries decided to have regular summits. Fifth one is they would like to start a hotline to have better communication between both the premiers. So these were the decisions taken on 25th of January. And here I would like to explain a little more about this nuclear deal. Look at this. Why this nuclear deal is so important and what are the irritants? I would like to explain a little bit on this. The first one is this. In October 2008, when Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, when Mr. George Bush was the US President, India-US Civil Nuclear Agreement was signed. India-US Civil Nuclear Agreement. That means nuclear deal can be for two purposes. Nuclear energy can be used for two purposes. One for energy purpose, that is for civilian use, or for military use, for preparing atom bombs. But we are talking about civilian use. For this purpose, 2008, when Mr. Bush was the President and Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, Civil Nuclear Agreement was signed. But it could not take off. There are two main irritants. There are main problems, two main problems. What are these problems? The first and foremost thing is, subsequently, let us look at the first irritant. India passed Civil Liability for Nuclear Damages Act 2010. India passed Civil Liability for Nuclear Damages Act 2010. As per this act, if any accident with regard to the fuel or with regard to the equipment occurs, the liability lies with the suppliers. I would like to tell you, because of the Fukushima accident in Japan, the damages were in the order of $200 billion. Here, as per the act passed by the government in 2010, if some accident occurs, the liability rests with the suppliers. United States of America didn't agree to this proposal. The first and the foremost irritant is the liability rests with the suppliers. United States of America told, we don't agree to this. Then look at the second irritant. The second irritant is, whatever the fuel, whatever the equipment coming to India, United States of America wants to track that, where it is going, whether it is going for civil purpose or whether it is going for nuclear purpose, whether it is going for atom bombs. But India has not agreed to this. Why? Because already International Atomic Energy Agency is tracking the movement of supplies. Where is International Atomic Energy Agency? This International Atomic Energy Agency is based in Vienna in Austria. It tracks the supplies, where the equipment or where the fuel is going. So IAEA already monitoring that. So further monitoring by United States of America or the suppliers is not required. That is the contention of the government of India. Now how the deal is done? You see, issue number 1 was solved because government of India created an insurance pool of 1500 crore rupees. If some accident occurs, the liability will be met from this pool of 1500 crores or $244 million. So the suppliers need not pay. So in this case, India came down by one step. The second step, the second problem is, previously United States of America insisted that where my fuel is going. India told that IAEA is already monitoring that. What is the need of you to monitor again? Now United States of America came down one step. They told, okay, IAEA monitoring is enough. So this way this deal is done. The clear message of the deal is not evident, but this is as per the unconfirmed reports emanating through the press, right? So this way this problem was solved. One step, India came down by one step, that by creating 1500 crores of insurance pool to meet the liability in case of accident. United States of America came down by one step. They agreed for IAEA inspections and no more tracking by United States of America. So with this, the deal is done by both Mr. Obama and Mr. Modi, right? So finally, after the conclusion of this agreement, the statement given by Mr. Modi is, relations reached a whole new level. The statement given by Mr. Obama is powerful symbolism backed by substance, right? So the further Obama visit on 26th and 27th falls in the next week. Remaining things we will discuss in the next week. Right, let us move on to some interesting things now. In view of Republic Day, Padma Awards are being announced. I would like to tell you, previously 2 persons were awarded Bharat Ratna, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, former Prime Minister of the country, and Mr. Madan Mohan Malaviya, who was instrumental in establishing Banaras Hindu University. Both were awarded Bharat Ratna, but during these Republic Day celebrations, Padma Awards were announced. Out of 104 awards announced, 9 Padma Vibhushans, 20 Padma Bhushan and 75 Padma Shri. 9, 20 and 75, which makes 104 persons were awarded, out of which 17 are women. Out of the 9 Padma Vibhushan awardees, you can see Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Mr. Dilip Kumar. Do you know what is the actual name of Mr. Dilip Kumar? Mohammad Yusuf Khan, Mr. L.K. Advani, Mr. Prakash Singh Badal, both politicians, Mr. Hegde for social work from Karnataka, right? Like that, you are seeing all the names of 9 persons who were awarded Padma Vibhushan. Like that, 20 awards were given Padma Bhushan. Among the Padma Bhushan award winners, don't forget Bill Gates and Melinda Gates are among the 20 Padma Bhushan award winners. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. Right? Let us look at the awards during 66th Republic Day. One is Police Awards for outstanding personnel from police, paramilitary and disaster management forces. Total 967 awards were announced, and Gallantry Awards were announced 374. 374 Gallantry Awards were announced. 3 Kirti Chakras, 12 Shaurya Chakras. Please remember, Ashok Chakra is the country's highest peacetime military decoration. This is Ashok Chakra. One person was awarded Ashok Chakra posthumously. He is Mr. Nayak Neeraj Kumar Singh. He lost life while fighting the militants across India-Pakistan border. He was awarded Ashok Chakra, Nayak Neeraj Kumar Singh, and during Independence Day, Mr. Mukund Varadarajan was also awarded Ashok Chakra. So these 2 awardees, their wives have taken the medals. So Ashok Chakra, these 2 persons, please remember, it is Nayak Neeraj Kumar Singh and Mukund Varadarajan. Remember, Mukund Varadarajan was awarded during Independence Day celebrations, but the award was presented now, right? Look at the next one. During the President address to educational institutions through video link, during his address, President was highly critical about the issue of ordinances by the government, and he categorically stated, ordinances can be issued under extraordinary situation but not in normal course. Government can issue ordinance under Article 123. During the past 7 months, Mr. Narendra Modi's government issued several ordinances where the President felt they are not in the normal course, so advised the government not to take up the ordinance route. Please deliberate. The Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the Parliament is for the purpose of legislation. Please legislate but not take the ordinance route. President is very critical about issuing the ordinances for coal auction or land acquisition, and 2 times he conveyed his displeasure with regard to the issue of ordinances. I would like to tell you, ordinance is the route taken by the executive when Parliament is not in session, right? But this is to be ratified within 6 months, right? The next one, Pahlaj Nihlani, the new censor board chief. I would like to tell you, Mr. Nihlani, producer, who produced Shola Aur Shabnam, Aankhein, famous Hindi movies. He is appointed as the censor board chief for a period of 3 years, and the entire censor board was constituted. Along with Mr. Nihlani, 9 members were appointed to the censor board, and you all very well know that Leela Sampson resigned last week as censor board chief over the controversy Messenger of God, right? So Mr. Pahlaj Nihlani is the censor board chief, appointed for a period of 3 years. Right, look at the next one. The Prime Minister unveiled a program, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Save the girl child and educate the girl child. This is one more important program of the Government of India on the lines of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Make in India, Digital India, Housing for All. These are the programs innovatively started by the new Prime Minister, and this is another program, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. That means save the girl child, at the same time educate the girl child. So this is the main slogan. So Panipat was chosen. Remember, Haryana is one of the states where the sex ratio is very less. And remember, for the entire country, the 0 to 6 years sex ratio is 918 girls per 1000 boys as per 2011 census. As per 2011 census, the sex ratio is 918 girls per 1000 boys. So, as to correct this imbalance, Prime Minister of the country unveiled this program at Panipat. Remember, this program is being implemented in 100 districts across the country. India has 676 districts roughly, and this program is being implemented in the first phase in 100 districts of the country. And in this connection, the Prime Minister of India also launched one program, that is Sukanya Samruddhi scheme. I would like to tell you the features of this Sukanya Samruddhi scheme. This scheme can be opened for any girl child within the age group of 0 to 10 years. Minimum contribution is 1000 rupees. Maximum is 1.5 lakh per annum. Minimum is 1000. Maximum is 1.5 lakh per annum. And here the interest rate is 9.1%. And the withdrawals or interest income is exempted from income tax. Interest income is exempted from income tax. This will be operative till the girl child attains 21 years of age. Till the girl child attains 21 years of age, this will be applicable, and 50% of the money can be withdrawn once the girl attains 18 years of age. These are the main features of Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana, which was unveiled by the Honorable Prime Minister of the country. Right? Look at the next one. Shantakumar Committee report. Shantakumar was the former food minister, union food minister, and BJP leader and former chief minister of Himachal Pradesh. A committee was constituted. Mr. Shantakumar is the chairman, and he gave report. The committee was constituted to look into the Food Security Act. You all very well know. Food Security Act belongs to 2013, which was brought by the then UPA government, where 50% of population in urban areas, 75% of the population in rural areas, altogether 67% of the population of the country are entitled for food grains at cheaper cost. Coarse grains at rupees 1 per kg, wheat at rupees 2 per kg, rice at rupees 3 per kg. Entire 67% of the population is covered under Food Security Act of 2013. And because of this, the total subsidy burden on the government may be 1.3 lakh crores, and total food grain requirement for this act is roughly 62 million tons. In view of the huge burden on the government constituted a committee headed by Mr. Shantakumar, and important recommendations given by him is, instead of 67% of the population, this scheme can be applicable up to 40%. That means the beneficiaries under the Food Security Act at present are 67% of the total population, which can be brought down to 40%. The second one is, instead of 5 kgs per person per month, 7 kgs per person per month can be given. That is another recommendation, 7 kgs per person per month. And third one is, instead of rupees 1, rupees 2, rupees 3, the cost of the food grains can be 50% of the minimum support price. 50% of the minimum support price. By doing this, the requirement of food grains under the Food Security Act can be brought down from 62 million tons to 40 million tons, and the subsidy burden on the government can be reduced. Right? Then they also made it a point, under the Antyodaya Anna Yojana, AAY, they can still be given at rupees 3, rupees 2, rupees 1. That means AAY scheme is basically for poorest of the poor. Right? Around the world, the first and the foremost thing is no consensus on framing the constitution in Nepal. Nepal, Constituent Assembly cum Parliament was elected to frame the constitution, but they could not come to the conclusion. That's why no constitution could be framed in Nepal. The initial deadline they kept was January 22, but no conclusion could be ascertained, or no conclusion could be drawn by the various factions of political parties. Right. Coming to the next neighboring country, Bangladesh. The agitation by Bangladesh Nationalist Party still continues. Khaleda Zia, is the leader of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. She wants free and fair elections under the caretaker government. Last year January 5 elections, she didn't participate because she felt that under the present Awami League government led by Sheikh Hasina, it may not be possible to have free and fair elections. That's why she is demanding free and fair elections should be held under the caretaker government. That's why she started agitation from January 5 this year. This agitation is continuing. Several persons lost their lives. Next important aspect is Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah died at the age of 90, and his half brother King Salman was declared as the new king. So King Abdullah dies. Saudi Arabia is the friendly nation to United States of America. Mr. Barack Obama, cutting short his visit to India, went to Saudi Arabia after completing his visit in India by cutting short his visit to Taj Mahal. Right? Next one, Vietnam devalued its currency. Last week I have told you, Belarus was the country which devalued its currency ruble 2 times. Vietnam devalued its currency dong. Why the countries devalue their currencies? Because to give impetus to their exports. If they devalue the currency, their impetus on exports or their exports will become competitive in the international market. That is the reason, right? Look at the next one. Elections in Greece. Because of the sanctions imposed by International Monetary Fund and European Central Bank, people are fed up with the existing government, and the existing outgoing Prime Minister's party lost the elections. The outgoing Prime Minister was Antonis Samaras. He lost, and now the new Prime Minister is Alexis Tsipras of Syriza party. That is anti-austerity party. The anti-austerity party, that is the Syriza party, headed by Alexis Tsipras, won the elections. Basically, people do not want the austerity measures. Because of the sanctions imposed by European Central Bank as well as IMF, lot of austerity measures, that means government expenditure was reduced drastically during the past several years in Greece. People are not happy because unemployment rose. Almost 30% of the people are unemployed in the country, and poverty is almost 30 to 40%. Because of these reasons, they have overthrown that government by electing the Syriza party led by Mr. Alexis Tsipras. Right? The fear among the European nations now is this tendency may spread to the countries like Spain and Portugal. Right? Look at the next one. India is 78th in global competitiveness. They surveyed totally 93 countries. The survey was done by INSEAD Business School. World famous INSEAD Business School has conducted survey, and for Global Talent Competitiveness Index GTCI, as per this, India's rank is 78 out of 93 countries. It shows that there is a lot of skill shortage in the country. Indian workforce is not innovative. Indian workforce is not talented, and the first place of course goes to Switzerland. Right? The next one, who declared Mali as Ebola free? Previously, World Health Organization declared 2 countries, Nigeria and Senegal, Ebola free. Now they declared Mali as Ebola free. Remember, Mali has got almost 800 kilometers of border with Guinea. Do you know what are the worst affected countries as far as Ebola is concerned? That is Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia. These 3 countries in West Africa are worst affected by Ebola, but the country which borders Guinea, that is Mali, is declared as Ebola free because of the stringent measures like screening and various precautions taken by that country. So because of these reasons, Mali became Ebola free, and to declare a country as Ebola free, there should not be any new case for 42 days. 21 days is the incubation period. So if there is no new case recorded or reported for 42 days, it is considered as Ebola free. Right. Look at the next issue. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, the world's Guinness Book of, it entered the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's largest financial inclusion project. 11.5 crore accounts were opened within a short span of 4.5 months, and 10 crore rupee cards were issued, and almost 9,000 crores, though the account is nil balance account, but this total 11.5 crore accounts contributed roughly 9,000 crores into the banking system. And all of you know that if you open a account under this during the period up to January 26, you are eligible for 5,000 overdraft facility, and at the same time 1 lakh accidental insurance and 30,000 life insurance facility, and it is the world's largest financial inclusion project. That's why it entered into Guinness Book of Records. I have already told you the other one is largest cash transfer system in the world, that is LPG gas cash transfer system is the world's largest cash transfer system anywhere in the world, right? Look at the next one, bond buying program by European Central Bank. Why this bond buying program? Several countries in Europe are in recession at the same time. Deflation is also expected in several countries. What is deflation? Deflation is opposite to inflation. In India we see only inflation, raising of prices, but in some European countries we see deflation. Deflation means cost and prices are reducing. If deflation is there, nobody will come forward to invest. Entire economy will collapse, no growth, unemployment will increase, poverty will increase. To avoid these things, what the rich countries, what the central banks will do is pump in money into the system by buying bonds. That is called quantitative easing. Previously, America has done it. Quantitative easing means pumping money into the system and by buying bonds. Purchase bonds from the market and release money into the system, liquidity into the system. Because of that, what will happen? Easy money will be available everywhere, which will automatically take care of growth. So that's why previously America has done it, Federal Reserve has done it. Now it is a turn of European Central Bank. Bank of Japan is already doing it. So this plans to purchase 60 billion euro every month for 18 months. Huge money will come into the system. 60 billion euro per month for next 18 months. That is planned by European Central Bank, right? So European Central Bank quantitative easing, or you can say bond buying program, which takes care of 60 billion euro worth bonds purchase every month spread over a period of 18 months, which makes 1.1 trillion euro, right? Next one, Oxfam report. This Oxfam International, this is based in London. Based on its report, you see the combined wealth of the richest 80 people in the world. If you look at the richest 80 people in the world, the combined wealth of these richest 80 people has gone up from $1.3 trillion to $1.9 trillion in 4 years. $1.3 trillion to $1.9 trillion in 4 years. So this report was given by Oxfam, and remember, 1 in 9 people across the globe are not getting food, right? Top 80 billionaires have the same wealth as the poorest 3.5 billion people. So basically Oxfam looks at income inequalities. Oxfam looks at income inequalities, right? Look at the other things, right? The next one, China growth at a 24-year low. China's growth during the year 2014 was 7.4%, which was the lowest in the past 24 years. That means it indicates that the growth in China is slowing down. Remember, the total size of China economy is approximately $10 trillion. I have already told you the size of USA economy is $16 trillion. China economy is $10 trillion and India economy is just $2 trillion. Right? Look at the other news. European Union Committee lifted the ban on import of mangoes from India. Previously, it imposed a ban on mangoes, also vegetables, because the excessive pests are noticed like fruit flies in the samples. Subsequently, now they told that the situation is improved. That's why they lifted the ban on the import of mangoes from India, but the ban on vegetables is not yet revocated. Right? So mangoes ban goes, but vegetables not yet. Look at the next one. This International Monetary Fund World Economic Outlook report. World Economic Outlook is given by International Monetary Fund. So, as per this IMF report, India's growth will be 6.5% in 2016-17. By that time, it will catch up with China or it will surpass China. That means I have already told you China's growth is reducing. India is in increasing path. So, the expected growth in 2016-17 will be 6.5%, which will be more than the China's growth. That is as per the report given by International Monetary Fund. That is World Economic Outlook report. Remember, World Economic Outlook report is given by International Monetary Fund. Right. Look into the sports issue. Two-judge bench headed by Mr. T.S. Thakur and Mr. Khalifullah, these two Supreme Court judges. This bench gave a report, gave their judgment that the important aspect here is conflict of interest. A person holding particular post in government or maybe a body should not have conflict of interest. Here the basic issue is Mr. N. Srinivasan, BCCI chief, has got interest in Chennai Super Kings. So, the court categorically said no conflict of interest. The second point is the court also felt that Mr. Meyyappan of Chennai Super Kings and Mr. Raj Kundra of Rajasthan Royals are into betting, and it is confirmed that betting took place. So, Mr. Meyyappan as well as Mr. Raj Kundra both are found guilty in betting case. You know very well that based on these recommendations or based on the judgment given by these two judges, a high-level committee of former Chief Justice led by Mr. R.M. Lodha was appointed to look into the punishment of these two persons. The court categorically said that these two persons, Mr. Meyyappan as well as Mr. Raj Kundra, are guilty in betting, and to look into the punishment, the quantum of punishment to be issued, the court constituted a high-level committee headed by the former Chief Justice of India, Mr. R.M. Lodha. Right? Move on to the other miscellaneous issues. One important thing is tiger population increased. In 4 years, the increase from 1706 to 2226. There is an increase of 520 or 30% increase in tiger population took place during the past 4 years. The census were recorded by providing camera traps at 9,753 places. Karnataka accounts for 406 tigers. And remember, to protect the tiger, this Project Tiger was launched in 1973. But some of the experts faulted the methodology of calculation, and anyhow, as the report stands, the increase in tiger population is roughly 30% from 1706 to 2226. Look at the next one. January 24 is the National Girl Child Day. From 2008, we are celebrating January 24 as the National Girl Child Day. And remember, International Girl Child Day is being observed on October 11. And International Women's Day is observed on March 8. Please remember these dates. Second one, January 25 is National Voters Day. National Voters Day is being celebrated on January 25. Why this date? Because in the year 1950, January 25, Election Commission was established. Election Commission was established on January 25, 1950 to commemorate that date. From 2011 onwards, this National Voters Day is being observed to give awareness, to inculcate awareness among the young voters to exercise their vote. Right? The next one is Jhumpa Lahiri won the $50,000 DSC prize for literature. This prize, DSC prize, which was established by the infrastructure firm, is being given for the literature based on the issues or the basic events of South Asia. The literature concerning the ethnic issues of South Asia, for those writers only this award is given. This is $50,000 DSC prize which was won by Jhumpa Lahiri, and during the literature festival recently held at Jaipur in Rajasthan, right? Next one, the judge of the Madras High Court, he is Mr. Pal Vasantakumar, judge of the Madras High Court, was appointed as the Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir High Court. Next one, making news for different reasons. Of course, these are all with regard to the corruption issues. One is former additional private secretary of former telecom minister Dayanidhi Maran, and two others were arrested by CBI with regard to the establishment of 300 lines of telephone exchange at his residence when he was the telecom minister. When Mr. Dayanidhi Maran was the telecom minister, there was an allegation that 300 lines of telephone exchange was established, which ultimately supported the Sun network in those days. So this was the allegation against Mr. Maran. The second one is several All India Trinamool Congress MPs and political functionaries are being arrested and questioned by the CBI in Sarada Chit Fund case. Remember, Sarada Chit Fund case is basically headquarters is Calcutta, and several Trinamool Congress leaders were arrested and being questioned by CBI. And Ms. Mamata Banerjee says there is witch hunt by the central government or CBI. That is of course political dimension. Let us not go into those aspects. Next one, for getting bail, Subrata Roy is required to deposit rupees 10,000 crore. Remember, Mr. Subrata Roy of Sahara India Parivar is required to refund 20,000 crores, rupees 20,000 crores to depositors, and he was arrested, and to get bail, Supreme Court said that please deposit 10,000 crores with us, then only we will grant you bail. To get that bail, Supreme Court recently permitted him to sell properties worth of $1.05 billion abroad, roughly 7,000 crores abroad, right? Then several people were arrested in PACL scam, Pearls Agrotech Corporation. As per the SEBI report, Pearls Agrotech Corporation is a collective investment scheme. They collected around 40,000 crores of rupees and they have to refund 40,000 crores, right? Pearls Agrotech Corporation based in Jaipur in Rajasthan, right? So these are the news, especially for different reasons, because most of them are having corruption allegations. Next, look at the last one, Rajani Kothari, political theorist, activist, most influential thinker in the development of Indian political system. I would like to tell you that important book written by him is Politics in India, and he was the man instrumental in starting Center for the Study of Developing Society. So he died at the age of 87. So we discussed several aspects this week. It is a long, hectic discussion because of Mr. Obama's visit and Republic Day and other aspects. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and I covered up to 25th of January. From 26th onwards, with regard to the Mr. Obama's visit to India, I would like to cover in the next week, as 26th falls on Monday, right? With this, I conclude this lecture. Please be with us for our question and answer session discussion, right? Have a nice day. Thank you.